Since video games are becoming so narratively driven, it is no wonder why a lot of people focus on a game's presentation when it comes to analysis. Oftentimes, the discussion of a game's presentation neglects to focus on a large part of it though, the music. The music in a game should reflect both how the player and characters are reacting to a circumstance. Mario games are all about lighthearted fun, so the soundtrack reflects that with bouncy, peppy music. Mega Man is all about overcoming adversity and becoming more than what one was before, so the music is supposed to pump up the player and make them feel excited about what the future holds for them. One series that constantly feels adventurous and wonderful is Zelda. Every game has track on track of exciting, hopeful, and adventurous music. Yet, when Breath of the Wild came out, many fans took issue with the way it was scored. The game is full of great melodies undercut by a lot of silence and seemingly incomplete songs. Whether intentional by the developers or not, the game's soundtrack is extremely empty and uneven. A lot of analysts on the internet defend the music, stating it helps support the darker tone of the game. Hyrule is gone and the people within it are without hope, thus the music lacks hope. And this can be heard a lot in the Hyrule Fields track, where the song seems to be missing major pieces. The defense falls short when one realizes that you can have a game with a brilliant soundtrack and have it support themes of desolation and sadness. Nier Automata was released in America 4 days after Breath of the Wild. The game has similar themes of desolation, sadness, and a lack of hope. Despite this, the soundtrack is bombastic, powerful, emotional, and beautiful. The use of vocals in tracks like City Ruins and Copied City really show how the game can effectively portray emptiness and sorrow. Tracks in the Zelda soundtrack like Hyrule Castle attempt this by using older themes and bringing in parts from other songs in the soundtrack, portraying this malevolent darkness. But Copied City does it much better with lonely vocals and an oppressive atmosphere. The track also feels eerie and unsettling, perfectly reflecting its environment. This is the opposite of the Hyrule Fields soundtrack, which doesn't reflect the environment very well at all. Breath of the Wild is full of secrets, treasures around every corner, wildlife populates its world, shrines which upgrade your abilities are everywhere. One word that I would never use to describe Breath of the Wild is empty and desolate. Yet the Hyrule Field theme is empty and melancholy. This theme's emptiness and lack of wonder is better suited for a world covered in snow, where life and wonder are scarce, not lush forests and empty plains full of wildlife. The song for these grassy plains should elicit a positive response. Hope is being rekindled, and with that hope, a new era is dawning. Breath of the Wild's soundtrack struggles to reflect its themes in an interesting way, instead deciding that silence is a much better way to convey those things. This decision has held the game back from being as emotionally resonant as games like Nier and its sequel. Overall, the soundtrack just feels less than it could have been. Hopefully in the next game Nintendo can learn from this and make a soundtrack that's really resonant and powerful. Thanks for listening. See you next time.